Guys, our identity, our uniqueness, our personalities, our willingness to show up every single day and show ourselves and share our personal stories, share our personal breakthroughs, share what we're going through with the world is what will impact the world. It's what will impact the people that are in our community. You guys, so many times I'll get on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, and I'll just do the usual scrolling through the accounts or whatever, and a lot of times I'll see people that I know, and they will make posts of like the Bible, like a Bible quote, or just like a quote of some famous person or whatever, and then I see it again and again and again, and I was just thinking to myself today, I'm like, you know, God created each and every single one of us with a unique identity, with a unique um, identity, yeah. And we each have a personality that is so unique to us. And a lot of times, instead of us showing that identity, showing that person that God created, that wonderful soul that God created, instead of us showing that, and instead of us sharing, our stories and sharing our stories with our using our unique personality, our soul showing up like this in video or on a post, taking a picture of ourselves or our family or our kids or whatever, but just showing up as us. Instead of doing that, what I see a lot of people do is hide, and I actually used to do this myself. I stopped doing this, but is just hide behind posts or behind quotes. So they'll post like biblical quotes one after another, or they'll post like quotes from like famous people, and 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 then they'll just put that passage there and they'll just leave it there. And I look at that and I'm thinking, it's really hard to connect to that. It's hard to just read. Not to I have nothing against the Bible. I love the Bible. I'm a Christian myself, but not to say that I have anything against that. But just reading just a blurb from the Bible, it doesn't really give you that depth and that meaning that it could give you if you took that same exact passage that you wrote and assigned a piece of you to it, assigned a personal experience that you had with this passage, a personal breakthrough, or a personal perspective of how you see it, how you translate it, how that particular passage impacted you. Because when you marry the two, when you marry, for example, the passage that you're posting and your personality and your particular experience and your particular breakthrough, when you marry them, the person that's reading that is able to connect with you more. They're able to connect with the message more because it's more real life. It's something that they could relate to. If it's like a mom that's sharing on this passage and she's talking about her kids and how she's having such a hard day and everything's falling apart, and then she reads this passage and it hits home for her, and then she goes on social media like this and begins to share it, I am able to relate to that um, on a much deeper level than I would if I just read that passage and then moved on, to the next post. It's a lot harder to connect with just a blurb, just like a quote, or just like a passage that's just taken out of the Bible and just put there. Like I said, I have nothing against the Bible, but what I'm trying to say here is that when your soul, when your identity, when your personality is married with the truth, with that passage or with that quote, you're able to create a much deeper impact, a much deeper connection and a relationship with the person. You're able to help that person on a much deeper level than you would just posting a random Bible scripture, a random quote that you found. You know what I mean? So I think that we just really, 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 if we want to have a greater impact, if we want to have a greater influence, and if we want to help people on a deeper level, if we want to connect with people on a deeper level, we want to start sharing more of our soul, more of our own personal experiences, and just more of ourselves. Because in the post that I made earlier today, if you haven't read it, go read it. It's a really good one, and it talks about what I'm sharing with you here in more depth. But God didn't make us boring people. We're not lame, boring people. We have experiences, we have stories, we have our soul that when we share, it's entertaining for people to watch. It's entertaining for people, and people can connect with us on a deeper level when we show up like this, when we show up in video, when we show up just sharing our personal lives. You create a much deeper connection, a much deeper relationship with that person, and they're able to get you on a soul level, versus just reading something that you just ripped out of the Bible, stuck it onto a post, and then moved on with your day. So I'm just talking to those people that are seeking to create a more intimate relationship with their audience, create a deeper connection with their people, and really help people and influence people. If you're really looking to help people, that's my suggestion to you, is really intertwine your identity, intertwine your soul and your personality into your message, because that's a huge chunk of it. That's a huge piece of it. A lot of people think that the shinier, the more perfect, the better, but I disagree. I think the more raw and real and unfiltered you are, the better. The more people can connect to you, the more people can say, oh, she's human, she's like me, or he's human, he's like me, versus like, okay, this person's like a Barbie doll, they're plastic, everything is so shiny, everything is so perfect, they don't have a zit on their face, they're just like perfection. It's hard to relate to robots, it's hard to relate to perfection, because we're human and we're imperfect, and that's okay. That's just how it is. And so, like I was saying earlier, if you want to have that deeper connection with your audience, if you want to create and influence people on a deeper, bigger level, I just say, just share your soul, share your identity, intertwine it with the truth, and yeah, and I just hope that you use this advice, and you apply it in your blogging, or you're sharing your content, or however that you share the truth, that you intertwine your soul in it. So, okay, guys, I will see you in the next video. Love you.